So welcome back here, 2014 PSP West Coast Open. Right now, Edmonton Impact, the team that won the last event, is playing Upton 187 Crew. And Upton 187 Crew on your screen right now. On the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side will be Edmonton Impact, and it looks like a couple bodies dropping early for Upton 187 Crew, and that's going to be, looks like a major penalty
on the first point.
And Dave Baines didn't hear the referee, but so first point major penalty is going to be assessed, and that might open things up here for Upton 187 Crew, though they did lose a couple bodies past the 50-yard line. Is Max Trailer.
And there goes Justin Rabakoff trying to come out. 2 bodies left alive for Impact.
So can 187 Crew take advantage of this opportunity that presented themselves, that penalty? I think that was, it was Zane Yakmek. So Zane Yakmek drawing a major penalty. Big Dave Baines goes into the box. And right now, it's just Justin Rabakoff and Zach Yakmek trying to hold it down here. Oh, and look at this awesome move by Justin Rabakoff.
Nice move.
Yeah, he takes out Max Trailer and then immediately gets into the 50-yard line on the D side of the field.
Yeah, he got shot on that dive into the 50, though.
Oh, a little bit too much aggression for Justin Rabakoff. Had that great move. So the 2 players left alive, Eddie Painter and Nick Roberts, stepping up. And, you know, we always talk about tests. This sport is a big test for you. How well can you... how well have you trained? How much composure and willpower can you bring to these games and to let your skill really shine? And Nick Roberts is one of the guys for Upton 187 Crew. They do not have Matt Derula here, who is starting to really kind of start to prove himself and prove that he should be getting some more playing time. Nick Roberts is one of those guys that he's going to have to excel if Upton 187 Crew has a chance in this event, because, you know, Dan Zaleski, Greg Lazat, Max Trailer, Eddie Painter, you know, those core guys, it's, you know, depending on how hot it is out here, depending on how deep and long those games go, those starting 5 for 187 Crew, you know, their endurance is going to be tested, and you need to have solid guys that can come in and give those guys some rest. Nick Roberts actually got the start, stayed alive here. 2 confirmed kills. He shot Justin Cornell and Justin Rabakoff, and that was the crucial kill that sealed the deal here in this first point for Upton 187 Crew. And also what really helped seal the deal was that penalty on Zane Yakmek to start it out, because it looked really good for Edmonton Impact. They shot 2 bodies wide off the break, which is exactly what Edmonton Impact wanted to do with that play. Heavy guns out wide, but not able to capitalize because of that penalty. And
pulling Dave Baines out, I mean, that's a huge, huge gun.
Yeah,
I mean, no pun intended.
Yeah, and as soon as that happened, what happened? As soon as that happened, boom, penetration for 187 down that snake side of the field.
Edmonton Impact sending out Rainey Stanzak, Justin Rabakoff. It's like Zach Yakimek's coming back out on the field right now.
And didn't I see a podcast on Rainey? Did you do a podcast with him or no?
I think I haven't done a podcast. Yes, I have done a podcast with Rainey. I love talking to Rainey because
he's amazing.
He's a gambler.
He's amazing,
and he's played on a lot of top teams. And you know, decided to come over to Edmonton Impact from Tampa Bay Damage this year, and what a good decision that was for him, because Edmonton Impact has won every single event in Europe, and they won the last event here, and it took them, you know, years to finally get back and win one. And Edmonton Impact had not won an event from 2010, so 4 years for Edmonton Impact in their journey to win another PSP event. And now a penalty on 187 side.
Also a penalty also on Edmonton Impact on the break. Taken off early. That was Zach Yakmek. Again, well, it doesn't look like Zach in the box, but
yeah, I think Zach just got pulled for leaving early.
I think that's what too.
So Pike catching that minor. He's in the box for 187. 187 coming across. That is Thomas Mantoni came up into the second can and then jumped across into the second tower. Justin Rabakoff now finding an opportunity to fill out here to the snake side. Rainey Stanzak up in that Dorito side tower trying to lock off the snake side. He's got Josh Womette with him in that small cake over there on the Dorito side, also shooting towards the snake side. Justin Rabakoff looking across the field as Zach Yakimek comes out of the box. He gets shot in the face going up to that can. So Edmonton Impact, they let Justin Rabakoff, he gets able to fill out to the snake side corner. He's going to look on the inside as the penalty expires for 187. They're going to get Max Trailer back on the field. So Max Trailer now comes across into that tower, jumps across to the snake side.
Well, and Todd, better field position because of that forward penetration there in the center and on the D side for 187 Crew right now. The guy in D2, but now Impact countering that move. They have a player in D2 as well. Stand-up Temple, trying to shoot towards the Snake side for Impact. There's the line for Impact. They have a player out wide on the Snake side, wider than 187 Crew. It's going to make things a little harder for Dan Zaleski over here. It's Thomas Mantoni, Dan Zaleski, Eddie Painter, and Max Traylor, the 4 main guys for Upton 187 Crew out there right now. Let's see if they can get it done and take a 2-point lead here against Edmonton Impact. It would be a huge morale boost for Edmonton Impact in this brutal bracket of death to come out and beat the team that won the last event.
For 187, yeah. Especially, to come up, they can go up. They got the field position, but they lose Max Traylor out of that back Snake can. So just one body over here now for 187 on the Snake side. He's going to leave the Temple and go into the Snake. Mantoni still up in the middle of the field. He can pick up Justin Rabikoff, but he drops his gun just at the wrong moment. That allows Justin Rabikoff to go into the Snake as well. And now that could put Mantoni in a tough position. Rainey Stanzak going to protect Justin Rabikoff.
Nice shot. You see that shot by Justin Rabikoff? That was amazing. On your screen, you saw Justin pop with the Snake. Although he gets taken out, amazing shot by J-Rab.
Yeah, but now the whole side is open over here for 187. Dan Zaleski in the Snake.
And Todd, it's up to Dan Zaleski right now because he has this whole side like you were saying. Yeah,
but like
Thomas Mantoni taking the walk.
No, Painter losing a gunfight over there in the Dorito. But Zaleski still live over here in the 50 Snake now. Looking at 2 bodies from Impact. So just Zaleski. It was a 2-on-2 situation.
Out of bunker deaths kill you. I mean, you got to stay alive out there. If it's 2-on-2 and you know Zaleski's got that whole side to himself, give him some time to work. There was a ton of space between Eddie Painter and the guy in front of him. He just straight out lost a gunfight. But this is a gunfight heavy field. I mean, obviously it's paintball. There's gunfights every tournament, but the way that this field is laid out, the smart, aggressive players and the guys who work their timing, work the gunfights, they are going to prevail out here. We've already seen teams lose games and points because of, just the deaths out of their bunker.
Zaleski taking a shot, but also getting a shot on the Zaleski taking a shot, though, bringing it to 1-on-1, but getting shot quickly thereafter.
Yeah, I was looking at 2 bodies, and he's in the Snake.
Yeah, it's hard to live out there, Matty.
Yeah, Joshua Met had that whole side to himself. And Joshua Met, last player left alive for Edmonton Impact to hang that flag with 14:24 to go to tie the game up now.
Joshua Met getting a check on his gun.
Joshua Met happy to get back on the field for Edmonton Impact. Was not able to participate in their victory at the Chicago Open 6 weeks ago as he was in a car accident, broke his thumb, and he had to sit out that last event. And that's he's a great attacker. He's proven year after year to be a very, very solid one and a really good attacker. So it's actually makes Impact stronger, even though they won without him. It makes their team stronger to have him back in the lineup. He has 1 confirmed kill so far. And Justin Rabikoff's playing out of his mind right now. 2 points, he has 4 confirmed kills.
Yeah, very silky.
So hopefully,
very silky all over this
field. Like his
field.
dad's head.
Did you tell me? Wait, do you have Justin on your fantasy team? Was it Justin?
Did I have Justin on my fantasy
Whoever
team?
has Justin on their fantasy team, he's scoring you some points right now because 4 confirmed kills in 2 points is a G rating of 2.0, which is phenomenal. Obviously, still lots more to play here, but
yeah. Here's my fantasy team. I got Fedorov, Ryan Greenspan, Oliver Lang, Trevor Reeser, Dalton Vanderbilt, Mike Paxson, Nick Sloviak, and Axel Godin. We'll be right back after these messages.
The JT ProFlex LE is built on a timeless design and hands down the most comfortable goggle system in the world. With a removable visor, unrivaled soft ears for added comfort, thermal lens with 270-degree field of vision, one of the most upgradable modular mass systems available, and as an extra bonus, an additional smoke spectra thermal lens is included. The JT ProFlex LE goggle system, available at jtpaintball.com.
first picked up a paintball gun when I was 9. I used to stand around at the field and stare at the Ironman players, hoping for a shot. I earned my way onto the team when I was 15. We won 2 world titles. When I blew my knee out for the second time, the doctor told me I'd never play again, but I refused to let go of my dream. I'm an Ironman, and paintball is my life.
And we are back. There's Bart Yakimek, who is the owner, leader, coach of the Impact Crew, and doing such a good job with his team now. Wow. I mean, again, Impact is the story of the year, really. They won every event in Europe, won the last event, second place at the second event. And, you know, with the roster that they picked up in the offseason, went a little unconventional route, picked up some young guys. They got Danny Park, Nick Laval. Ryan Martin actually quit the team before this event, which to me is unfathomable. How are you going to quit a team on a legendary run?
Well, why would he do that? I want to know an answer to that, actually.
Yeah.
Split screen breakout, left-hand side, Impact, right-hand side, up to 187 Crew, Matty.
Yeah, up to 187 Crew, 5 players alive and getting in the snake. Right now for them, they got Greg Lazat, Max Traylor, Eddie Painter, Thomas Mantoni, and Nick Roberts. So these guys are going to have to try to get a lead here. Tied up at 1, 14 minutes exactly to play here.
And Impact actually started with a guy in the box. So up to 187 Crew. Up, you know, up one body right now for the next 20 seconds. 187 filling out here to the snake side corner. Trying to lock off the snake side from the Dorito Tower. Up in that second Dorito Tower again is Max Traylor, looking to make some moves through the middle. Edmonton Impact loses Justin Rabikoff over here off the snake side. Could be an opportunity right now for Traylor to go through the middle if he can put in Rainey Stanzak. Looking for a spot to come out of. Justin Cornell goes booking all the way out to the corner but gets picked up by Max Traylor standing at the A. Rainey Stanzak tries to make a bump out to the snake side and he gets picked off, but Traylor dies at the same time for 187.
Yeah, they still have that player, 50-yard line snake, wrapping around and just chalking up kills, and it's Nick Roberts. We talked about how big of a tournament Nick Roberts needs to have for Upton 187 Crew, and he's proven his worth right now. Nice job, Nick Roberts, and the whole crew from Upton 187. Greg Lazat, Painter, Mantoni, and Roberts alive at the end of that point to take the lead here, 2-1.
Also 187. I mean, that's even the point they lost. You know, they had control of. You know, Impact definitely got, you know, a couple penalties here early, but you know, Upton 187. You know, kind of taking it to them right now, getting really aggressive, getting up the field. Edmonton Impact getting in their spots, playing like they always do, get to their spots, shoot a ton of paint, talk, you know, work people out methodically, but Upton 187 shooting some pretty good lanes. You know, Impact's drawing penalties because they're getting shot on their way out to those wide spots. But, you know, big couple games right there by Nick Roberts.
Yeah, and the thing is that we know the Upton 187 Crew is very capable of winning games. And we've just seen it right now. That was a great point from them. Obviously, they started on a power play, but they have the talent to win these games. It's just, but they gotta, you gotta get a run going, and that's the toughest thing when you're up with these teams is to stay consistent. You have to win 2 games to have a chance to move on to Sunday, unless there's a ton of ties, which we've seen. We saw it at MAO, we saw a lot of ties at MAO. We could see some more ties out here too, but regardless. You know, 187 needs to put up at least 2 wins here in this murderer's row of teams that they're playing against.
I love that murder. It is a gnarly division.
It's a crazy division. You know, I mean, you're talking about some of the teams that have either won events this year. I mean, first of all, Dynasty won MAO. They're in this bracket. Edmonton Impact, they won the last event. They're playing against these guys right now. And then the Ironman, of course, and Archaos. So this is a crazy bracket. The other bracket, you know,
it's a Sunday bracket.
Yeah, this is definitely a Sunday bracket, like back in the day when you have the way it was different. Yeah, This is when it's going to be a great day, man. I can't wait to see who really trained for this event, who wants to assure that they're going to be, well, one, have a chance to win this tournament, but most importantly, be playing in that Champions League come World Cup time, mid-October. So here we go. Looks like Impact losing a body on the break. Justin Cornell taking the walk early, shot by Max Trailer. And also Eddie Painter taking the walk for Upton 187 crew. So it's 4-on-4 right now. Both teams in the pocket. Impact doubling up the temple. You can see that top portion of your screen there. That stand-up bunker towards the center. It's called the temple. The other one's called the can. So one player in the can for Impact. One insert bunker right there. Right portion of your screen, right behind the snake. And then two in that stand-up temple. Pretty close position for Upton 187 crew, except they're doubling up the can. Uh-oh, looks like Max Trailer loses a gunfight, I think, to Zach Yakimek in his mirror, and now Justin Rabikoff is going to cut up into the center. So just 3 players, man, and if Impact's able to get out wide, it's going to make it a really hard time for Upton 187 crew to live in those back bunkers.
Justin Rabikoff now on the creep, coming up to the A. Gonna look underneath towards the Dorito side. Upton 187. Nick Roberts actually died over here off the snake side, so they still have Max Trailer over there in the Dorito side tower, and then Zaleski and Mantoni are doubled up in that snake side can. Edmonton Impact. And here comes Max Trailer. He's gonna come through the middle, slide through, and stab Justin Rabikoff. Justin Rabikoff.
I don't know. Justin Rabikoff.
Like he got a ball on him.
Yeah, he's saying that no, he didn't shoot me. And there are no referees running in there yet. Now the referee's running in there. Referee was watching him. Did he miss him, Todd, you think?
I don't know.
It looked pretty cool. Yeah, nice job by Max Trailer on the offense, but wasn't able to get him. So Justin Rabikoff still alive. Ooh, now the referee thinks he caught one. Check out his leg. And it looks like he's still clean. Dave Baines now gets up in the center to help Justin out.
Yeah, Justin Rabikoff's really good at staying alive in those situations.
But Dave Baines coming up the middle.
Nice shot by Justin Rabikoff. Two pack right there by J-Rab.
There goes the last 2 bodies for 187.
That was a good shot.
Yeah, Justin Rabikoff getting it done here in this game. 7 confirmed kills for Justin Rabikoff right now. Nick Laval got himself a 3-pack here, finally getting a spin for Edmonton Impact. And he is a player that's definitely come on here and started to play up to his potential in the middle of the year. Heard a lot of good things about him from, both as a teammate and now on the field for Edmonton Impact. And, and then what's crazy is that he is playing now against his former team, and he had been the diehard 187 guy. He'd been their marquee name and their captain, making calls on the field and really, the emotional leader for that team. And he got a big offer from Edmonton Impact and decided to, live out his paintball dream. But he left the right way. He called every single guy on the team and asked him, what do you think I should do? And they were like, to a man, like, look, man, you got to take that opportunity. You get to go to Europe. And so
it's a no-brainer. I mean, if your friends are your friends, I mean, it's a lifetime experience.
Exactly. And so Laval's making the most of that experience here. 3 confirmed kills. As you see this replay here is Max Trailer with a bold move, diving through, but he was not able to get his gun up in time to shoot out Justin Rabikoff, who maintained his composure in there and didn't get frazzled, was able to get his gun up and put that ball on Trailer.
Justin Rabikoff on your screen. Dave Baines on the left. Big Dave Baines blocking out the sun. And Justin Rabikoff, I mean, he's a specimen of paintball player. He's been one of the best, and we've watched this kid grow up for a long time now.
Yeah, man, I've seen Justin Rabikoff mature as an amazing player since he was about 10.
Let's not get carried away. Mature.
Well, he's come a long way, man. And on and off the field. And he's son of paintball legend and one of our co-hosts up here, Steve Rabikoff with GI Sports. And it's just cool that Justin took the talent that he had and really dedicated himself playing tons of paintball. I played with him on Excessive. He played with you guys on Infamous. I mean, he's made the rounds. Played with Moscow for a little bit and won some tournaments with them, and played with Damage, and then made the move over to Impact and really found a home here on Impact. Such a versatile attacker. He can play in the center. Really kind of famous as a snake player though. But he can play the D side. Very versatile as that first attacker. Here's talking about the 1s, 2s, and 3s. That just indicates where you are on the attack. Are you the first guy to go? Are you the guy way up front? Are you a little bit back, or are you way in the back? And right now, and then also dictated by the field layout, your 1s sometimes will start in the backfield, but then those are the first players to move forward. So right now, both teams Uh-oh, looks like 187 crew losing a body, losing 2 bodies. Gonna say they were in the pocket, but they lose 2. They do have 1 out wide on the D side, so Edmonton Impact really rolling those guns and controlling those lanes from the center. And we say the pocket, that means keeping players inside in those center bunkers before moving out wide.
Yeah, and Rainey Stanzak, I think he picked up both of those kills as 187 tried to fill out to that pocket. Got the first guy, just held his gun on that lane. Second guy walked right into it. And Max Trailer coming up the middle is gonna get shot in the back of the head. And we're gonna have a collision over there in the Dorito 2 between, I think that was Zane Yakimak. Zane Yakimak running right into the last 187 player, tried to make a last-ditch effort to get up the field and get some kills. And Justin Rabikoff gonna go run that flag in. There's Zach Yakimak. And Justin Rabikoff, number 9, with the funky fresh rhymes. Oh wait, no, that's Steve Rabikoff.
Well, let's not get carried away. I mean,
You ever heard Steve Rabikoff freestyle rap? It's insane, man.
really?
Dude's just got the funky flows.
Really?
You know what I mean? Just
Doesn't have
spits
funky
hot
locks,
fire.
obviously. He lost those years ago. Oh, Steve Rabikoff, a good friend of ours. One of the best paintball players. He's a paintball legend, actually. You know, so, and wearing off his son. His son, I think his son is way better than he was. I'm just saying. I mean, Steve, I love you, but that kid's pretty gnarly, man. He's a good paintball player.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when you grow up in the game, and you have a father that's, you know, on big teams in the industry. I mean, he would come out to Ironman practices.
He had 10 fathers, 20 fathers.
Yeah, and lots of older brothers. I
Yes,
remember
sir.
when he would come out to Ironman practices, getting, you know, we'd let him get some points in when he was like 12 years old.
Right.
And he was very tenacious at a young age. And so, and I remember looking at, thinking like, that's the right mindset, a young kid. I mean, he was fearless. He'd come and play and get some reps in and want to more and more and more, and always
like
taking
Oliver,
bigger bites.
like an Oliver.
Yeah.
You know who really took him under his wing was John Richardson.
Yes.
You know, like when John Richardson was out there living on the East Coast, working for Pev's Paintball, you know, he would go out and work with Justin a lot, you know, and John Richardson, you know, a name that many may not recognize,
Gangster.
but, you know, easily
Which is sad.
in my top 5 of best players ever to play the game. You know, the timing, the skills, the intelligence,
The athleticism.
just everything, you know, the complete package. You know, John Richardson really was just one of the most elite players in the game, and, you know, really helped Justin Rabikoff, you know, kind of learn and understand the Jedi mindset.
Well, we
Exactly.
We used to call John Richardson Johnny Paintball before
Yep.
Johnny Manziel was Johnny Football.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so and
remember
just
that.
because he was just so fluid, and just the talent was just seeping out of him.
I love playing with John, man.
Yeah, you played with him for years.
I loved it. Loved
Big time
it.
infamous player.
Loved it.
Came out of the Pacific Northwest. You played on Washington Rain back in the day.
Yep.
John Richardson's the best player, one of the best players ever, but definitely by far the best player ever to come out of the Pacific Northwest.
I agree with that, 100%.
So here we
Oh,
go.
here comes. Oh, never mind.
On the breakout here, it looks like another body dropping. So, 2 more bodies. So Impact is starting to find those lanes. And 2 bodies dropping for 187 crew. Not able to stay alive here off the break, and that is really going to hurt them. They have to find a way to get out through the guns of Dave Baines and Zach Yakmek and Nick Laval in the back bunkers off the break. It's not going. I mean, 187 will lose this game if they can't keep bodies alive on the break, or if they don't start shooting bodies of their own. They did shoot Justin Cornell. Eddie Painter was able to get a shot on him. So, Impact down a body of their own.
And thinking about bumping out to the snake side, getting out there alive. So up to 187 now, Dorito 2, Dorito side tower, and the snake side temple. Justin Rabikoff coming up the middle, getting into that wing on the snake side. Big Dave Baines over there. He's going to cut back across to the Dorito side of the field.
Ooh, shot Mantoni in the soft spot in his back.
That was-
Mantoni's rubbing that one as he walks off. That's the
I
worst
hate
place.
that.
Other
I
than the
hate
neck,
that.
that's the worst place to get shot.
Well,
Well,
I mean-
there's one other place that will remain unnamed, but everybody knows what it is. Yeah, so 7 minutes and 39 seconds to go. Impact really starting to steal control here as this game starts to play out, and it begins with that off the break shots, and past couple points that they've been putting up here, really controlling the action off the break. They did lose Justin Cornell themselves, but once they get locked in those lanes, they've been controlling those lanes and really smart moves out to widen the field. And after that one body that they dropped that Painter shot, didn't lose another one. So really solid work by the champions from the last event, Edmonton Impact.
Yeah, they're both looking really crisp right now. I mean, up to 187, Clue's playing a good game. They came out strong, but down 2 points right now to Edmonton Impact. But, I mean, it's, you know what, I don't take anything away from anybody right now.
Well, there is a lot of time left and only down 2 with 7 minutes and 39 seconds to go. There's no reason that the 187 crew can't get it back together here. But again, if they keep losing 2 bodies off the break, if they don't shoot 2 bodies off the break, it's going to be a long game for them.
Yeah, I mean, Impact got a couple penalties early, trying to get out wide on the Doritos side. You know, they just shortened it up a little bit. You know, you saw that last game. JC went and dove into that little cake on the Doritos side, actually got picked off going there. So, I mean, just like we thought, it is tough to get out there, but, you know, it's all about the consistency of the plays you run. You know, are you consistently trying to go out wide, or teams picking up on, you know, your tendencies where you're trying to go, or, you know, you're just going to try and get the spots alive, roll your guns, you know, which is kind of what we saw from MAO. And, you know, it's still so early in this event. You know, teams are going to test the waters, you know, see how far they can swim, and then, you know, when it comes late in the event, you know, jump in full floaties, you know, with a ring around your waist and, you know, battle from there.
187 on your screen. On the breakout, they still go out wide on the D side. Did they make it this time? Looks like Lazat's asking for a check, and it looks like they also lost Nick Roberts. But now striking some shots on the break of their own. 187 crew able to drop 2, but they drop 2 as well. So it's 3-on-3 as Max Traylor and Dan Zaleski still alive over here with Eddie Painter. Looking at Justin Cornell and just Rainey Stanzik. So this is what Upton 187 crew needed to do right now, is isolate some players off the break, and it looks like Max Traylor clocking in to get those kills. So can they close this point out here against Rainey Stanzik and Justin Cornell? Cornell.
That's a hard game to play right there.
Well, Justin Cornell get chopped break a couple times. He's going out to the D side. He switched him to the snake side now, and it was able to make it out wide. So he's out wider right now than Zaleski is. And looking at 187 crew, there's Max Traylor.
Yeah, Rainey Stanzak sticking to his job, trying to make sure that nobody gets into the snake.
Well, look at this, though. Past the 50-yard line on your screen, you see that bunker shake on the right-hand side with all the paint on it? Well, that's because up to 187 crew now, Max Traylor past the 50-yard line, and he's just waiting, biding his time. Oh, did he just get
shot?
Rainey
Stanzak, he does get a shot.
Yeah, he did. So Rainey Stanzak getting taken out, as well as Justin Cornell. So amazing work by Max Traylor to keep his team in this matchup, proving why we've talked about why he's one of the best players on the team. So Max Traylor, 6 confirmed kills for him in this matchup so far. We got ourselves a 1-point game here, 6:06 to go. And let's check in with Lauren Kelly down in the pits.
Hey guys, I'm here in 187's pit with Josh Pike. Now you guys are fighting really hard. Right now you're just down 1 point against Impact, 4-3. A few points that you've lost, you've had difficulty staying alive on the snake side. What makes that snake side so difficult to stay alive off of the break?
The 2 center bunkers do a really good job of shooting that lane off the break. So, I mean, if you double stack those, or even put 3 gun snake side, however you want to look at it, it's really easy to lock that down.
So what can you do when you know that they're locking it down from their corner bunkers to try to get out to that snake side or get to a bunker safely so you can get those points?
You can either break out short or just be patient, wait for the guns to drop, and then bump out.
All right, well, 187 is down 1 point, 4-3. We'll see if they can tie it up.
Yeah, so that is the situation that confronts this game right now. Upton 187 crew down by just 1 point in a very even matchup here, and we've seen nothing but close games. Every game has been 6-5 so far today. Revo taking down CEP 6-5. Red Storm losing 1 to Boom. Let Boom get back in the matchup. That was a come from behind victory. And then Art Chaos with another come from behind victory. So close matches here so far at the West Coast Open. So can Upton 187 crew make it 3 come from behind victories in a row that we've seen on this main field? And is the champions from the last event, are they going to let that happen? It's going to come down, you know, to off the break shots, and then what those guys can do with the variables that present themselves midpoint, and also the gunfights. Man, seen so many people die out of their bunkers so far in these matchups today on this field, because you really have to push smart. The moves are there depending on which way those guns are switched, but you have to really work effective gunfights here. The best gunfighters out here are the guys that we're going to be talking about the most.
There's a nice little aerial shot right there of this event. You can see the mountains in the background.
What a beautiful scene. The PSP has the best venues. I mean, this grass out here, I mean, everything's fantastic.
Yeah, this is a nice one, man. Really nice grass. And again, it didn't dump rain the days before the event, so should be holding up throughout the tournament. Here at the West Coast Open, man, and I just can't wait to see how all of these storylines play themselves out as we get through the morning bracket. Next up after this matchup, we got another big-time matchup between Art Chaos and San Diego Dynasty. Art Chaos already with a victory as they defeated the Ironman last matchup. Dynasty, this is their first game of the day. So Art Chaos already warmed up and ready to go. And then we're going to have the Ironman take on Upton 187 crew, and then Impact and Dynasty to close out the morning bracket before we take a short lunch break. And then to start the afternoon division, Vicious and VCK. There's the schedule up on your screen right now. About 50 seconds to go before the start of this next point. Let's check in again with Lauren Kelly.
I am down here in the Impact pit with Rainey Stanzik. Now, you guys are up 1 point, but 187 has been putting up a really tough fight. Were you expecting them to play this hard coming out?
Yeah, they're a good team. Every team in this division is going to give you a hard game, and, you know, everyone's coming at you, so not a surprise.
Tell us what the similarities are with this field layout as opposed to MAO.
It's similar where you can lock down the field. There's a lot of good back spots, but the middle is pretty effective. There's bunkers just leading right up to your side of the field, so you can go through this field a lot more quickly.
All right, well, they are up 1 point. We'll see if 187 can tie it up again.
So just a couple seconds before the start of this next one here. Impact going to be on your right. Upton on your left. So 3 guns up for Upton off the break. They risk 2 bodies out, and it looks like they keep at least 4 alive. I think they're going to know. I think they've lost 2. Referee getting and checking out Greg Lazat, and he is going to come off. So 2 bodies leave early for 187. Impact loses Zane Yakmek off the break. Justin Rabikoff, Dave Baines, Zach Yakmek, our MVP from the last event, and Joshua Metz still alive.
And Edmonton Impact, Zach Yakmek making a move all the way out here to the snake side corner. Once he saw Upton 187 come across and get into the snake, I believe that's Thomas Mantoni making the bump over here. Number 22 getting in the snake. That's Zach Yakmek right there, Chicago MVP in the corner. Dave Baines over there locking off the snake sider, trying to keep Mantoni's head down and allow Zach to get up into his mirror, which he does. So now Zach can look across the field at the Upton 187 players. 187, only body they have left on the Dorito side is in the first Dorito tower. Again, they have Mantoni there in the snake 3 with Zaleski behind him in the corner. Edmonton Impact with 4 bodies alive. They lost Zane on the break, going up, doubling up with Dave Baines. So a 4-on-3 advantage. Edmonton Impact with Joshua Met in that little cake over there on the Dorito side. Justin Rabikoff and Dave Baines in the middle. And of course, Zach Yakmek down here in the snake, backing all the way up, seeing if he can get a shot in on that tower across the field. But Mantoni is going to be the one to keep Joshua Met from getting out on that Dorito side. Dan Zaleski going to kind of have to play the whole field right now, protect his teammates on both sides.
Justin Rabikoff digging out to the back corner bunker, D side of the field, makes it out wide.
Good fill right there from Justin Rabikoff. Not a whole lot of pressure on him, except for Zaleski, who's going back and forth.
And now you're looking in the snake with Upton 187 crew. It's Thomas Mantoni. You know, long-time Northeast player, used to play for the Hurricanes. Thought it was a huge pickup for 187 to get him. He was one of the most dynamic, emotional players on that squad, and you know, just another good attacker, another good, experienced professional paintball player. And that's what they need. They need a little bit of depth. Oh, it looks like Lazat getting shot out of that bunker over there, D side. So now it's just the 2 players on the snake side. You can see, look at the players right now for Impact. And that they are going to call it. I can see the point because only 3 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. That's the concession of that point by 187 will give Impact 5. So now Upton with 3 minutes and 28 seconds. The reason why they conceded that point with 2 players alive was they wanted to give themselves enough time to get back in this match and score 2 points. We saw the Ironman score about a 10-second point, so we know that those fast, aggressive off-the-break plays exist if things go your way to score some quick points. You know, you're always rolling the dice on those. But with 3 minutes and 28 seconds, you can have a legit full play. You don't have to get too crazy and risk too many bodies.
But now conceding the point, for those people at home that don't know, conceding the point is what, Maddie? What exactly does that mean?
Well, basically, you know, you can lose the point in 2 ways. You can lose the point when the other team hangs the flag. You don't even need to shoot everyone. It's 5 guys on each team. You do not need to shoot everyone. There's just a flag in the center. You got to get it hanging on your opponent's flag station. You win the point that way. Or if things aren't looking good, the team is allowed to concede the point. You can throw the towel in on that point based on the strategic situation that presents itself. And that is what just happened to 187 right now. Knowing time was ticking off, knowing that Impact had a ton of bodies left, looking at just 2 bodies of their own, they conceded that point, thus giving themselves the best chance possible with the time that was allowed for them to use to be able to get a really good run at a legit breakout and not have to go with something a low percentage crazy play.
I couldn't have said it better myself, actually. But as he said, I mean, conceding a point is actually a strategic move. Conceding time. Yep. Todd, you're a coach.
Yeah, I was going to Todd, you spend a lot of time having to do that in real time down there. You know, what's going through your mind in those situations? You're just trying to count the bodies, talk to your guys, and then figure out who do we got left?
Yeah.
What's the time? You know, should I concede? Should I not concede?
And it's tough too, because sometimes you can't see the whole field from the pit. You know, we definitely make mistakes too. Like sometimes you don't see a guy that's still alive and he's balling. You don't see.
And the seconds are ticking off, so you have to make that call.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know, it takes practice, just like everything else. You know, just try and watch and make good decisions and give your team the best opportunity. You know, to either maintain the clock or let it go.
So right now, Impact looking good again. There is a player in the snake, Zaleski. It's going to be up to Zaleski. Can Zaleski get any kills?
Look, he forgot. He totally missed that shot right there, Maddie. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Well, you're looking at the D-side matchup on your screen right now with, I think that is Justin Rabikoff in really good field position on the D-side. But on the flip side, Zaleski is still alive here in the snake 50, but lost bodies behind him. Or he still has a body behind him, but lost bodies on the D side. So, and then now.
Oh, look at that move, Maddie. Number 10.
Zach Yakmak. There's a reason why Zach Yakmak has become one of the premier players out there, and there's a reason why he won the MVP. He's really good at all facets of the game right now. He's got great field vision. He's an awesome gunfighter. Shoots great lane off the break. He's always staying calm and composed. Played, you know, we actually got a chance to do an interview with him post Chicago. So you go to Paintball Access and check it out. But basically, he's just become a very versatile weapon and a really solid performer. You know, Dave Bain says that, you know, that other than Ryan Greenspan, Zach Yakmak is the most consistent player he's ever played with. And we would always say that, you know, if you would rate players in a 10 and a 2, 10 to 1 on their performance, I would rather have a guy that plays at like an 8 every game than a guy that gives me 10 one game and 2 the other, and then 10 the next game and 3 the other, because I can't count on those guys. You know, and as a coach, Todd, you really want consistency out of your boys.
Yeah, if you can give me 10 8s, I'll take 10 8s all day over 2 10s, a 9, and a bunch of 5s.
Well, it's just easier to have game plans. It's easy to have game plans. You know what you're working with a little bit more than just kind of biting your nails constantly with somebody's out there. But that takes a lot of time. You know, Zach Yakmak, he came up actually, got to play with Dynasty back in the old school X-Ball days, and was able to kind of cut his teeth, got some experience there. And then Impact they've been doing this for a long time, slugging it out slowly but surely, improving not only the skills of the core members of the Canadian squad of that team, but then also, you know, Bart Yakmak has done a really good job of going out and securing the talents of some of the best players out there to slowly but surely build a super team.
Well, as you call it, paintball patron.
Paintball patron, man.
I mean, absolutely. He's all about it. He's such a nice guy, and he's all about the sport. He invests money into the sport, not just with his team, but in the sport, you know, in particular.
Well, he sees the value it has both for his own personal life, to surround himself with a hardworking group of fun individuals, and they get to travel around and, you know, live that paintball lifestyle. And there's a lot of reward in that. It's but that's why I call them patrons, because though it is a little fulfilling to see a creation of yours fulfill its potential, really what you're doing is you're giving to other people. You know, like the Bortles from, you know, every team has somebody like that, whether it be your sponsor or just, you know, somebody that really cares a lot. So let's look at this now. Not a lot of time left here. Impact 1 point away from taking this race to 7 victory here, and so we're looking for some really fast plays from 187 crew.
Oh, right there on the left side of the screen, you take 2 players coming out right now for Edmonton Impact. That's Big Dave Baines. And also, Josh Womet taken out by Eddie Painter. Here comes 187 crew in the snake on your screen. Who's that, Todd? Is that Thomas Pantoni?
That's Nick Roberts.
That's Nick Roberts.
Nick Roberts getting the kill across the field out of that Dorito 1. And here comes the attack down the Dorito side. Justin Cornell, Danny Park gonna have to look on the inside. Danny Park gets taken out. Justin Cornell gets taken out as well.
They need to hurry up though. Run that flag in. Not a lot of time left.
120 left, Maddie. What that quickest point was how long? 15, 20 seconds?
I think it was probably around
15.
I said 10 earlier. I was exaggerating. I think it's about 15.
I think 15 is a good call. So I mean,
but that was a really fast point.
There's 118 left in the clock right now. If the flag hand is clean,
down by 2,
4 to 6. They can come back and tie this up.
Theoretically, yes.
If it's 6-5, I'm gonna jump off this balcony.
Well,
hey, let's go 187. Let's go 187.
Come on, I was waiting for one of you two to say it. But whatever.
You're lucky Rab's not here. He would have just thrown you right off.
He wouldn't let his hair down, let me down the stairs. That's for sure. So 6-4 right now. 187 coming back. 118 left in this game.
Yeah, well, what I always like to see here is it probable that 187 is going to win this game? No, obviously not. Impact, the lineup they have, how great they are at shooting off the break, no. But when this situation hits, it makes it entertaining because 187 crew forced to push forward. They have no choice. So look for huge, aggressive breakouts for Upton 187 crew when we come back after this quick commercial break. And we are back here watching the conclusion of this matchup between Upton 187 crew and Edmonton Impact. Minute 19 seconds to go. And again, look for aggressive up the center breakouts here from Upton 187 crew as they have no choice but to push into the guns of Impact.
On your screen right now, breakout. Here comes Edmonton Impact number 99, Randy Stanzak. Justin Rabikoff.
Of course, conservative breakout for Edmonton Impact. 5 guns up now as they're trying to lock down those lanes. And here comes the push forward. Dan Zaleski, does he get anybody? It looks like he got 2 of them.
Nice shot,
So
man.
Dan Zaleski getting 2. Still 3 players left alive for Impact. And here comes the push up the D side for 187. They have a player in the snake as well, too. And here comes another to push past the 50-yard line. Gets eaten up. Greg Lazat getting shot.
Oh, there goes Justin Rabikoff.
Yeah, so Justin Rabikoff gets peeled off. Just 2 bodies. 45 seconds to go. 3 bodies left alive for 187. Can they score a point here and try to pull within 1? Time is ticking off. They got to make it happen here. They really don't have any time to hang out in their bunkers. Here comes the push down the D side. He's alive still, and that is going to push Zach Yakmek into guns, and he's going to get torn to pieces, and they need to sprint this flag in. So,
about 20 seconds left, man.
Eddie Painter drops a flag, man. He needs to grab it and run that in.
Oh, that's going to cost him 3-4 seconds.
That's going to hurt.
That might be the difference.
That is going to hurt when Chris jumps off the balcony up there.
Yeah.
Trust me, I can't break anything else that I've already broken.
Well, and you know, this is where conditioning plays into a factor here. And unfortunately, Painter, dropped that flag, which cost him a couple precious seconds, because now they have 16 seconds. So we were talking about how fast was that quick Ironman point that they scored trying to come back against Art Chaos. Well, it was about 15 seconds long. So with 16, yes, it is possible, but it is going to take a little bit of a miracle here for 187 to pull this one off.
Here's the difference between that game and this game is that you have 16 seconds left. You know what they're going to try and do. You got to come up the center. You got to try and shoot somebody out wide. I mean, in that one 15-second game that we did have, I mean, it was kind of unexpected. It was like a minute left or whatever. But with this, there's 16 seconds left. You know what they're going to do. You go to your spots, you shoot your lanes.
Yeah, but that's what Impact tried to do here, and you see Zaleski breaking that line. You got to break the line, man. He's looking at guns every way. Every way you look, there's going to be a gun. You have to find the seam. So Zaleski found that seam up the center, took 2 with him, and that broke the line open, which enabled the move from Lazat down on the D side of the field, and he got chopped up a little bit too. I think, was it Lazat that made it all the way into the backfield? Zaleski. Yeah, so, well, 187 Crew put another one on, and even if they lose this one, the point spread is, mark my words, when we start doing the math and figuring out tomorrow afternoon who's going to be in and who's going to be out, and who's going to be playing in relegation games, and who's going to be safe and able to play in the Champions Division.
It's gonna be
well,
gnarly
I
weekend,
guarantee you it's going to come down to point spread. And so every single point is valuable here. So did those precious seconds that Painter dropping that flag on his run through, he was trying to sprint and grab that flag as quick as possible, that cost a couple seconds there when he dropped that flag. We'll see if that actually hurts him here.
What do you think, 2 up the center?
I think you have to.
You almost
15,
have to.
You really don't have any other choice but to completely commit. You have to commit and hope that your lanes find your way in so you get some kills. Oh, they get stopped, though.
Oh, Zach Yakimek came out to the corner, caught a precious bounce in the arm, and now is just chopping 187 players on the Dorito side in the middle to bits.
That's going to do it. Weird. Another 6-5 game?
6-5.
Somebody catch me.
What a game.
Wow, so that is 4 consecutive 6-5 games as Edmonton Impact takes a close one here against 187 Crew. Next up, San Diego Dynasty is going to be taking on Art Chaos. And Art Chaos 1-0 right now. This is Dynasty's first match of the tournament. Dynasty, the winners at the Mid-Atlantic Open. And, they're the series champs from it's San Diego Dynasty. San Diego Dynasty is the most successful team in the PSP ever. They're the most successful, historically, paintball team ever. And we're going to watch them play Art Chaos in this next matchup, so do not go anywhere. We're going to be right back after this.
Yeah, Jay.
Hey guys, I am down here with Max Trailer and Zane Yakimek. Impact won 6-5, but 187 fought so hard in that last second to last point where you got that 5th point and had a chance to tie it up. What was running through your mind when you ran down the Dorito side? You got Zane and Baines out. It was a great run through. What was running through your mind at that moment?
I've been playing the center of field a lot, and we thought, well, they'd probably think I was going up the center, so we pumped too wide. And at that point, there's no time. You just got to run and hope you kill more people than before you die. So it worked out.
You had about 17 seconds to try to tie it up. I mean, what kind of strategy can you have during that time? Do you practice that at all, having such little time and having to get all 5 guys off the break?
Maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, that's one thing. But, 20 seconds, basically 5 guys run down the field as fast as you can. And, we tried.
You guys played really well. Zane, you were doing really well on the Dorito side as well. You guys were playing the middle a lot, and Rainey was telling me we're going to see a lot of middle play, not so much wide. Yeah. But how likely is it we'll see X plays? We really haven't seen the X been played that much so far.
I think it's going to, later on in the tournament, it's definitely going to come where a lot of teams are playing that middle. Early on, I think you're going to see teams trying to get out wide, trying to make these corners and these Dorito ones and maybe snake off the break. But I think later in the tournament, when the fields slow down, you're going to see a lot of teams playing into that X, into the opposing towers and plays like that.
Right now, what bunkers would you say are the most efficient to get into off the break?
Oh, I mean the 2 and the 4 for us, which is the 2 towers, like right in the center. You're both definitely going to play 2-3 guys out of those spots. They're really easy to get to. You get big guns out of there. But we've had a lot of success taking Dorito 1 off the break and then even to the first temple on the snake side.
All right, well, thank you so much. Impact B, 187, 6-5. Next up, we're going to have Dynasty versus Art Chaos. Art Chaos won their first match of the day. We'll see if they can do it again.